Hope you all are doing good and staying safe. Greetings to you all. I welcome you all to our science class. So, what unit we were dealing in the previous three classes? Yes, it's unit 1 measurement. So, in this video also we will be continuing with this unit 1 measurement and we'll be finishing our unit 1 with this video. So, let us start with a small quote. Every morning you have two choices. Yes, continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. Yes, my dear students, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Push yourself, chase your dream because no one is going to do it for you. Yes, with this motivational quote, let's move on to today's class. Before that, we'll recap what was learned in previous classes. So, first video we saw about the physical quantity and units. So, what is a physical quantity? A physical quantity is a quantity that can be measured and it has a numerical value and a unit of measurement. Yes. So, what is an SI system of units? SI system of units is nothing but the abbreviation of SI is International System of Units. And we saw three systems, right? One is CGS system, FPS system, and MKS system. Very good. So, what is a fundamental quantity? We saw nearly 7 fundamental quantities. What are they? Length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and amount of substance. Yes, and we saw there SI units as well. And what is the derived quantity? As the name suggests, it has been derived from the fundamental quantity. So some derived quantities are like area, volume, density, and velocity. Very good. In second video, what we saw, we dealt about the unit prefixes and the rules and conventions for writing SI units and symbols. What is a unit prefix? Unit prefix are the symbols placed before the symbol of a unit to specify the order of magnitude of the quantity. And in rules, how many rules we saw? We saw nearly 10 rules of writing SI units and symbols. Yes. In the third video, we saw about measuring mass. We dealt with 4 balances, right? Hope you remember. What are they? Physical balance, digital balance, common beam balance, and the spring balance, in which physical balance, common beam balance, and digital balance is used to measure the mass of an object, whereas the spring balance is the only balance which is used to measure the weight of an object. And we saw the differences between mass and weight, and we also saw the accuracy and precision in a measurement. Hope you are clear with all these subtopics. So let's move on to today's class. Before that, I hope you all have been connected to Google Classroom with the code given in the previous video. So let's move on to today's class. Ask you a question: how will you measure the distance between 2 points? So consider a line which has an endpoints named as point A and point B. What would be the distance between these 2 points? Of course, in our daily life, we use meter scale for measuring lengths, and they are calibrated in centimeter and millimeter, right? The smallest length which can be measured by meter scale is called the least count. So, in today's class, we will be dealing with a new term called least count. Before that, how we will be measuring this distance between 2 points? Of course, with the meter scale. So let's move on to the least count definition. The smallest value that can be measured by the measuring instrument is called its least count. So in the case of ruler, the ruler has been divided into centimeters, right? And each centimeter has been subdivided into 10 divisions. And one division is known as 1 millimeter. So it has been separated with 1 millimeter. The least value of this ruler is 1 millimeter. Then what would be the least count of this ruler? Yes, the least count of a meter scale is 1 millimeter. Hope you understood the term least count. Right? So let's move on to today's topic to be concentrated in the session. That is, first instrument we are going to learn is a vernier caliper. This is a vernier caliper instrument. And second we are going to learn is a screw gauge. This is a screw gauge instrument. So let's move on to today's first topic, vernier caliper. So this is a vernier caliper, and this vernier caliper is mainly used to measure the internal and the external dimensions of the objects. So let's see the parts of the vernier caliper. The vernier caliper consists of a thin, long steel scale graduated in centimeter and millimeter called the main scale. Yes, this is the main scale. It has been graduated in centimeter and also in millimeter. And to the left hand of the main scale, an upper and lower jaw are fixed perpendicular to the bar. Yes, these jaws, the inside jaws and outside jaws, the one side has been fixed and other jaw has been made to move. So it is termed as movable jaws. Okay, and to the right of the fixed jaws, a slider with an upper and lower movable jaw is fixed. The slider can be moved or fixed to any position using a screw. The vernier scale is marked on the slider. This is a vernier scale. It has 10 divisions in it. It moves along with the movable jaw and the slider. The lower jaw is used to measure the external dimensions and the upper jaw is used to measure the internal dimensions. The lower jaw is called as outside jaws and the upper jaw is known as inside jaws. So the outside jaws is mainly used to measure the external dimensions and the inside jaws is mainly used to measure the internal dimensions. The thin bar attached to the right side of the vernier scale is used to measure the depth of hollow objects. Yes, when you move this movable jaw, the strip comes out and this strip can be used to measure the depth of the object. Hope it's clear. Let's move on to the least count of the vernier caliper. So the least count is calculated as the smallest division of main scale by total number of divisions of vernier scale. Yes, the smallest division of main scale would be 1 millimeter. Since we saw that main scale has a calibration of 1 millimeter and centimeter, the smallest division of main scale would be 1 millimeter. And total number of divisions of vernier scale. The vernier scale has 10 divisions, right? It has been separated, divided into 10 divisions. So the total number of division would be 10 millimeter. So 1 by 10 millimeter, which gives 0.1 millimeter, or it can be stated as 0.01 centimeter. So next term we are going to learn is a zero error. How to check the zero error in the given instrument? In vernier caliper, we need to unscrew the slider and move it to the left such that both the jaws touch each other. Check whether the zero marking of the main scale coincides with that of the zero of the vernier scale. If they coincide, there is no zero error. If they do not coincide, there is a zero error in that instrument. Yes, so zero error is a technical term which means how far away from zero is the reading of the instrument when the real value is known to be zero. It can either be positive or negative. This is a part of calibration. All measuring instruments need to be periodically calibrated. Yes. And every measurement has a zero error and it has a least count as well. Yes, as I said, it has a zero error on your instrument, so it is always to check our instrument periodically. So in this first image, see here the vernier scale 0 and the main scale 0, it coincides with each other. So there is no zero error in this apparatus. In the second image, the main scale 0, the upper part is the main scale and the down is the vernier scale. The main scale 0 doesn't coincide with the vernier scale 0. The vernier scale 0 is far away. It moves right far away from the main scale 0. Thus, it is termed to have a positive zero error. Whereas in the third image, if you see, the vernier scale 0, it moves to the left of the main scale 0. Right? Thus, it is known to have a negative zero error. So this is what a zero error. And when it comes to vernier coincidence is nothing but the divisions. The vernier scale is divided into 10 divisions, right? And if any one division which coincides with the main scale reading, it is known as a vernier coincidence. In the first image, see here, since it has no zero error, it coincides with the last term 10. It coincides with the main scale reading, right? Whereas when you come to second image here, when you see clearly, zoom in clearly, the fourth division of the vernier scale coincides with the main scale reading. Thus, the vernier coincidence would be 4. Whereas when you come to third image, here the seventh division of the vernier scale reading coincides with the main scale reading. Right, so the vernier coincidence would be 7. Thus, you are clear with the zero error and the vernier coincidence. And vernier caliper is also used to find the volume of the object. By measuring the thickness, length and so on, we can able to find the volume of the object as well. It can find the volume of a sphere, solid sphere, a cylindrical rod, a rectangular block, as well as the beaker's volume of the beaker. How we can find it? Here is a small video which says it clearly. So listen this video carefully.
Procedure. To determine the least count of the given vernier calipers, bring the outer measuring jaws together without placing any object. Least count LC is equal to value of one main scale division divided by number of divisions on the vernier scale is equal to 1 millimeter divided by 10 is equal to 0.1 millimeter, which is equal to 0.01 centimeters. Place the sphere in between the lower jaws and find out the main scale reading and the vernier scale reading. Diameter of the sphere can be calculated using the relation total reading TR is equal to main scale reading MSR plus vernier scale reading VSR into least count LC. Volume of the sphere V is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cubed, where r is the radius of the sphere. Similarly, the volume of the cylinder V is equal to pi r squared L, can be calculated by measuring the radius of the cylinder R and the length of the cylinder L. The volume of the rectangular block B is equal to L into B into T, can be calculated by measuring the length L, B breadth, and T the thickness of the rectangular block using the vernier calipers. In order to find the internal volume of the beaker, the internal diameter of the beaker D has to be found out using the inner measuring jaws of the vernier by placing it upside down. To find the depth of the beaker, move the depth measuring prong through the beaker till it touches its bottom. Take the measurement to get the depth H of the beaker. Use the relation V is equal to pi into d by 2 the whole squared into h to calculate the inner volume of the beaker.
So yes, hope you are clear with it. I think you would have studied the volume of rectangle, volume of cylinder, volume of sphere in your maths class. So with those formula, we can calculate easily by using the vernier caliper instrument. So let's move on to the experiment side. So when it comes to experiment, we need some category, right? Like aim, formula, procedure, tabulation and the result. So we are going to learn in that way. So what would be the aim of this vernier caliper? To determine the diameter of spherical body using vernier caliper. So let's take a spherical body as a cricket ball. Okay, so now we are going to find the diameter of this cricket ball using vernier caliper. So formula is to find the diameter of spherical object. So here in our case we are taking the cricket ball. So we are going to find MSR plus BC into LC plus or minus 0 correction. Where MSR is nothing but it is the main scale reading, BC is nothing but the vernier coincidence, LC is nothing but the least count, and ZC is nothing but a 0 correction. 0 correction is nothing but it is just the opposite of 0 error. If the 0 error is positive, then the 0 correction is termed in as negative value. Where when 0 error is termed in as negative value, then the 0 correction would be termed in as the positive value. So it is just the opposite of 0 error. And we know that least count of vernier caliper is 0.01 centimeter. It is a fixed least count. Okay. With these values, we can easily measure the diameter of the given ball. So when it comes to tabulation, we need to tabulate it as a main scale reading MSR in terms of centimeter, a vernier coincidence, and the diameter of an object. The diameter of an object is only given as a formula as MSR plus BC into LC plus or minus 0 correction. So with these data, we can fill in the tabular column. And finally, we can take 3 readings and the final average would be the diameter of an object. And finally, we can write it in the result as the diameter of the given spherical object that we took was a cricket ball. So the diameter of the given spherical object of a cricket ball is so much of centimeter. Thus an experiment with vernier caliper. Okay. So let's find some reading. Okay. Here I have given one reading. The upper part is a main scale reading, as we all know. The lower part is the vernier scale reading. Vernier scale is divided into 10 divisions, right? So 0 to 10, this is the vernier scale. So we just find out what is the main scale reading. This 0, the vernier scale 0, where does it comes after 3 divisions from 3, right? So this is 3.0 we'll consider, this is 3.1, this is 3.2, this is 3.3. So the main scale reading we can note it as 3.3. Okay. Then vernier scale coincidence. Where does the vernier scale coincides with the main scale reading? Let's check. Does 0 coincide with the main scale reading? No. 1? No. 2 coincides? No. 3? It has slight variation, right? Then 4, does it coincides with the main scale reading? Yes. 4 coincides with the main scale reading. Thus, vernier coincidence is said to be 4. When in the given formula, we had that vernier coincidence is multiplied with the least count. We know that least count is 0.01 centimeter. Then corrected reading would be, yes, So 3.3 plus 0.04, which is 3.34. This is the actual value. Okay, this is what the actual value. But we don't know whether this reading has the zero error or not, right? So let's consider another image. We see the zero error and vernier coincidence for it. Here, see here, already I explained that this zero error, the main scale zero error and the vernier scale zero error doesn't coincide with each other. So it has a zero error, and the vernier scale 0 is moved right to the main scale 0. Thus, the zero error is positive, right? So the positive error. But in the formula we given has zero corrections, right? Zero correction is nothing but it is just the opposite of zero error. Thus, we can mention it as minus there. So the corrected reading 3.34 minus 0.04, which gives us the value as 3.30 when the measured value has a positive zero error. In another case, here see the vernier scale 0 has been moved left of the main scale 0. Thus, it holds negative zero error, right? It holds negative zero error. Then what would be the value for it? The measured value plus the coincidence. So it gives 3.38. Hope you understood vernier caliper. So now let's move on to next instrument, which is screw gauge. Screw gauge is an instrument that can measure the dimensions up to 1/100th of a millimeter or 0.01 millimeter. With the screw gauge, it is possible to measure the diameter of a thin wire and thickness of thin metallic plates as well. So let's move on to the parts of the screw gauge. Yes, the screw gauge consists of U-shaped metal frame. This is a U-shaped metallic frame. A hollow cylinder is attached to one end of the frame, and this is the hollow cylinder. Grooves are cut on the inner surface of the cylinder through which a screw passes. So these are the grooves that where the screw passes. On the cylinder, parallel to the axis of the screw, there is scale which is graduated in millimeter, which is known as the pitch scale or the main scale. So this is the main scale or pitch scale. It can be named as pitch scale or main scale. It is denoted in millimeter. One end of the screw is attached to a sleeve. The head of the sleeve is divided into 100 divisions and it is called as the head scale. So this is a head scale division which is divided into 100 divisions. The end of the screw has a plane surface, spindle. A stud anvil is attached to the other end of the frame, and this is a immovable stud and this is a movable stud. The screw head is provided with a ratchet arrangement to prevent the user from exerting undue pressure. So we need to use this ratchet to move this hollow cylinder like this. So by using this ratchet, we can move this hollow cylinder and we can measure the thickness of an object. So this is how a screw gauge works. So in screw gauge, we have another important term which is the pitch of the screw. So how to determine this pitch of the screw? The pitch of the screw is denoted as the distance moved by the screw by number of full rotations given, which is 5 by 5, which is equal to 1 millimeter. Then least count can be given as pitch by total number of divisions on the circular scale, which is 1/100 we already knew that the head scale has 100 divisions. In some cases, the head scale has 50 divisions also. Then 1 by 100 is equal to 0.01 millimeter. The least count is generally given in terms of centimeters, so we can name it as 0.001 centimeter. Likewise, in the vernier caliper, screw gauge also has a zero error. So, how to determine the zero error in screw gauge? When the movable stud of the screw and the opposite fixed stud on the frame area brought into contact, if the zero of the edge scale coincides with the pitch scale, there is no zero error. See here, in the first image, the zero in the pitch scale and the zero of the head scale coincides with each other, right? Thus, it doesn't have zero error. In second image, we can see that when the movable stud of the screw and opposite fixed stud on the frame are brought into contact, if the zero of the head scale lies below the pitch scale axis, then the zero error is said to be the positive zero error. Here it didn't coincide with the head scale and the pitch scale reading, right? Thus, it gives positive zero error. In the third image, when the plane surface of the screw and the opposite plane stud on the frame are brought into contact, if the zero of the edge scale lies above the pitch scale, the zero error is said to be a negative. Here, it is in 46th division. Here we have taken a 50 division head scale reading. Thus, it shows as 46th division. Then, it can be subtracted from the 50th division. So 50 minus 46, which is 4. So the coincidence would be 4. And the zero correction would be plus 4 millimeter. So let's move on to the experiment side. The aim of the experiment is to determine the thickness of a given wire. So we are going to determine the thickness of this given wire. The formula we already know, that least count is equal to pitch scale reading by number of divisions in head scale, and the least count is 0.01 millimeter. To find the thickness of the wire, we just need this formula, which is PSR plus HSC into LC plus or minus zero correction, where PSR is pitch scale reading, HSC is head scale coincidence, least count LC is least count, and ZC is the zero correction. Zero correction is same as the opposite of zero error. Okay, and we need to tabulate it like pitch scale reading, head scale coincidence, and thickness of the wire we can find by using this given data. And the consolidation of this thickness of wire T gives the diameter or the thickness of the given thin wire. We can write it here as in millimeter. Hope it is clear to you. So just see this procedure, you can easily find it.
Procedure. First, to determine the pitch and least count of the screw gauge, rotate the screw gauge 4 times and note that 4 mm has moved on the pitch scale. Then, the pitch is equal to distance moved by number of rotations, which is 4 by 4, that's equal to 1 millimeter. Least count is equal to pitch divided by total number of divisions on the head scale, which is equal to 1 by 100, that is 0.01 millimeter. Now, check for the zero error. Zero error is 0 if the zero of the pitch scale coincides with the zero of the head scale. Error is positive if it coincides with the numbers above the zero of the head scale. Error is negative if it coincides with the number below the zero of the head scale. Place the given wire between the tip of the screw and stud by tightening the ratchet. Note down the pitch scale reading PSR and head scale HSR reading. Diameter of the wire can be calculated using the relation total reading TR is equal to pitch scale reading plus head scale reading into least count. Calculate the volume of the wire using the equation V is equal to pi r squared L, where the length L of the wire is measured using a meter scale. For finding the thickness of a sheet of paper, grip it between the stud and screw of the screw gauge and note the readings. Similarly, place the irregular lamina instead of the paper and find its thickness.
Yes. Hope you are clear with how to handle the screw gauge instrument as well as the vernier caliper instrument. And that's it for today's class, my dear students. Can you all summarize what we have learned in today's class? Yes.
Students, in today's class, what we all learned?
We learned screw gauge and vernier calipers.
What is the least count of screw gauge? The least count of screw gauge is 0.01 millimeter, ma'am. Very good, Niveta. Very good. Well done. What is the least count of vernier caliper? The least count of vernier caliper is 0.01 centimeter, ma'am. Well done. The smallest length which can be measured is known as?
It is known as least count plus.
Very good, Tinku. What is the least count formula? The formula for least count of vernier caliper is value of one smallest main scale division by total number of vernier scale divisions. Very good, well done. So, which instrument is used to measure the diameter of thin wire? Screw gauge is the only instrument which can measure the diameter of thin wire. Well done, students. Hope you all understood today's class.
And now it's follow-up work time. Follow-up work. The follow-up work is first you need to go to a Play Store. Just type in a vernier caliper app, okay? Vernier caliper app, and you will find many vernier caliper app, okay? You can click on any one app. I'm just using the vernier caliper simulator app. I've already installed it, so it would be in my desktop, right? So here it is, vernier caliper free. So I'm opening it and you can see the vernier caliper screen, right? And this is just a sample of vernier caliper. You can explore it just by using this. This is a main scale reading, and the movable one is the vernier scale reading. And for taking zero error, there should be no object kept in the jaws. So this here it shows 0 error, okay? So there is no 0 error in this apparatus, but in the real apparatus there will be a 0 error. So for just to explore how a vernier caliper works, you can use this app and you can explore. You can take readings like this, okay? So now the reading shows as 0.1 in the main scale reading, and in the vernier scale it shows as 0.09. So like that you can take 3 readings with the same object, okay? It will be the same readings only, so you can tabulate it and you can calculate the diameter of the given object. Hope it was clear to you. So students, that follow-up work is just to explore how a vernier caliper works. You can also download a screw gauge apparatus also, and you can explore it. And for the assignment part, so I have given you 2 questions. It's just calculate correct reading. If the main scale reading is 8 centimeter, vernier coincidence is 4, and the positive 0 error is 0.05 centimeter. So what apparatus is this? It shows vernier coincidence. So it is a vernier caliper readings. Okay, so you need to calculate the correct reading and write down it in your classwork. And second question is, what is the formula for the least count of screw gauge? So write these 2 questions in your science classwork. and you need to submit it in the Google Classroom. If anyone have not joined the Google Classroom, please do join the class as quick as possible with this class code AD43K60. So in next video we will be seeing chemistry topic, which is matter around us, a new topic. Before that, I would like you to keep a unit test from this unit 1 measurement chapter. The dates will be mentioned shortly in the Google Classroom. So thank you, my dear students. Stay home and stay safe.